Call in, connect.
Yes.
To Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey and the ports? And it seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows.
You know.
And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense.
You know.
I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth? They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Yes, everything is about you. Everything is about Donald Trump. Everything's about him, including all these drones. It's all about Donald Trump. You know, he knows what's going on as well as anybody, because he gets briefed now. He gets briefed by, the military. He gets briefed by intelligence agents. He knows everything because he's the incoming president of the United States. And the idea that, I think they ought to tell. Well, you're standing there with a microphone. Why don't you tell? Why don't you? Now, I think with some help from, Howard and Stephanie and a bunch of us, last night, I think I might understand a little bit better what's going on with these drones. Okay? I'm just going to guess. I'm just going to take a stab at it, and then you will know if I'm right or if I'm wrong whenever the truth about this comes out, and it will. Okay, first, I'm listening to John Kirby tell us how he now believes that this, whatever is going on, is a combination of manned and unmanned aerial drones. It's a mixture of commercial and defense, and it's for the greater good. This is the phrase that gets me. When he says, but it's all for the greater good. You know, whatever's going on there is all for the greater good, meaning there's nothing to be afraid of. Okay, I get that. But there is something going on, and we're not all crazy. And, they're trying to say some of these mayors and some of these, Governor Phil Murphy, they try to diminish, he saw Orion. That's what he saw. He saw a star. Okay. So, Chris Christie said that there was, something, like the size of a bus over his house, right? Donald Trump, of course, thinks it's all about him. Yeah, it's all of this that started in early December. They were all planning on Donald Trump going to New Jersey in the middle of the winter when he obviously comes here to Palm Beach for the winter. I mean, he made it all about himself. Anyway, I want you to listen to John Kirby's drone assessment, and then I will offer what I think might be happening.
As we look at the information we've got, Brett, and we've now examined some 5,000 different sightings, we've added detection
5,000.
capabilities, additional observers. As you and I stand here today, to date, our assessment is that this is lawful, legal, commercial, hobbyist, and even law enforcement aircraft activity. Some of it's manned, some of it's unmanned. We absolutely acknowledge that a lot of these are probably drones, but they're flying legally. And it is legal to fly drones in non-restricted airspace as long as you're registered with the FAA. And there's thousands and thousands of these kinds of flights every single day. I think there's more than 1 million drones that are registered with the FAA just in the United States alone.
Yeah, but this is different, it seems. These are bigger. They're 6 feet in diameter, a lot of them. There was a reporter the other day that saw 50 coming from the coast at one, pack. I know when you first came out, you said that most of these are manned. Can you concede that maybe most of these are not manned?
Well, I said was at the time, and this was Thursday, when we were not as informed as we are today based on the resources we have applied to the problem set. I said many of the reported sightings we believe to be manned aircraft. That was true when we said it on Thursday. We still believe, Brett, that some of these are, in fact, manned aircraft. I couldn't give you a breakdown of what percentage, but we do believe that still some of these sightings are in fact manned aircraft. We also acknowledge that a lot of them are unmanned aircraft. But again, our assessment to date, given all the work that we've done, the FBI, state and local officials, that these are legal and lawful drones flying for the common good.
For the common good. So he does sort of, slip in there. First, he tells us, there's millions of them in this country. People love them. They're hobbyists, and some of them aren't hobbyists. And there are things that in the sky that people are seeing that are unmanned aerial vehicles. Some of them are manned aerial vehicles. Yes, and some are stars, and some are Orion's belt, and some is the North Star, and some is Uranus, and some is, quit it. Stop trying to muddy up the issue here, okay? He doesn't want to tell you what's going on because I don't think they want anybody to panic or to think there's any reason to panic over what may be the purpose. I think that these drones are flying in a pattern in order to... Oh, did you think I was going to say, deliver your Christmas presents? It could be. But I think that they're flying in a organized pattern because they're searching. They're looking for something. They're, the unmanned aerial vehicles have the ability to detect not just human beings. If they were looking for a human being, obviously, we have, body heat. We're, 98.6 degrees, right? So it could find us, with, infrared and all that. But I don't think they're looking for people. I don't think they're looking for a person. I think they're looking for radioactive isotopes. I think they're looking for things that somehow have gone missing. I think that there was a case. This is where my friend Stephanie emailed me last night. And it was just an article from the Daily Mail, okay, of all things, the Daily freaking Mail. I mean, yeah, but we read everything, and that's fine. And it was not about the United States. It was about something that happened in Spain, okay? And they were hunting in Spain for a missing radioactive package. It was supposed to arrive in Madrid at their airport there, and it didn't arrive there at their airport. And so the Nuclear Safety Council, the CSN in Madrid, actually put an alarm up saying that there were 4 radioactive sources in a very dangerous Category 2 container that went missing. Now, they found it, according to them, and they found it on a Swiss air flight in the cargo hold of a Swiss air flight on its way from Madrid to Zurich. The isotope, in case you weren't, it's selenium-75, and it has to be properly protected from human contact because, it's very dangerous and really radioactive. It carries grave risks if it's not, if you touch it, if you put your hands on it.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
Yeah, that is the phone number there. Look at that, 561-270-3844. That would be the way that you speak to me. That would be how I could speak, to you. Technology being what it is. Okay, so the isotope, selenium-75. It's apparently something that is used in radio-pharmaceutical settings. I'm guessing for radiation. Somebody out there that, is a tech or a doctor or whatever would know for sure. And then Howard, who was having poker night last night with the old Jews, where he won last night. He came home the conquering hero. $3, baby. $3. Don't you even think about spending that all on, one bottle of water. It's not even a cup of coffee. But yeah, so he came home all full of swagger, you know. But while he was playing poker, he was apparently, multitasking because he sent me the NRC.gov event report from New Jersey, okay, that was posted on the 5th of December for an event that occurred on December 2nd, which is about when the drones started appearing over freaking New Jersey. And what does this actually involve here? Well, according to the officer who was notified by HQ Ops Officer John Liliendahl. Why? I mean, what are they sworn to secrecy over here? They can't tell. They're, listen. We know what this is. Okay, whatever. He wrote that there was a licensee, okay, who reported to the New Jersey Department of Regulatory Events, right, of regulatory notification, that they went to pick up from a container a Eckert, sorry, I don't work in this field, an Eckert and Ziegler model HEGL0132 that was sent for disposal. And it was on its way from a cancer center in New Jersey, from the NASA Cancer Center in Newfield, New Jersey. And it went missing. Not only did it go missing, but the container that it was in to be transported was damaged, and the container was empty. The shipping container did arrive at its destination, but it was damaged and it was empty. And so the shipper, the licensee, the entity that owned this particular model, this, I'm guessing it's a radiation machine, filed a claim with the shipper saying that we put this on a container for disposal, and when it arrived, the container was damaged and empty, and we don't want to be responsible because there was radioactive material in this Eckert and Ziegler model HEGL 0132. And so the International Atomic Energy Agency had to be contacted to find out what category this particular radioactive, material was. Well, the one in Spain was a category 2, which is really dangerous, okay? And this really dangerous radioactive isotope, which is used in radiopharmaceutical settings, I'm guessing radiation, was category 2. Really dangerous. It goes from like 1 to 5, okay? And 1 being the most dangerous. This one was a 2. This particular one in New Jersey was a category 3. So a category 3, unlikely to cause permanent injury to an individual, contains a very small amount of radioactive material that would not cause permanent injury, but it's not a category 4 or 5, which is less. I think that's what they're looking for. I think, listen, and I don't know, I'm just opining here, but I'm trying to explain all of this activity to myself. And it seems like they're looking for something. It seems like they're actually searching this, by virtue of, drones. And it could be commercial drones, meaning it could be, a contractor that was assigned to do this in combination with law enforcement, who obviously are looking for something, right? They're looking for probably something responsive to this event. And then you see that there was another event where radioactive material went missing in Spain, okay? And it didn't end up where it was supposed to go. Instead, it was found on a cargo flight leaving, I'm sorry, not a cargo flight, but it was on Swiss Air, flying from Madrid to Zurich. Something very crazy passes through my mind at this point. And I start to put these two stories together, and I start to think, somebody is collecting radioactive material. And if somebody is collecting radioactive material, they must have a reason. And I doubt it's, giving themselves, radiation for cancer at home. I don't think anybody would, even though healthcare in this country sucks, I just don't think that you would have to collect the radioactive material yourself and then try and smear it on your, affected breast. I just don't see that happening. And then this morning, this is so great. And then this morning, I'm watching Fox 5, which is like a local news channel in New York. I think it may be New Jersey. I don't know. But I'm watching it on YouTube. I'm not watching it on my TV because I'm not there. I'm in Florida, obviously. And I hear this mayor from Bellevue, New Jersey, start to put things together in his head. And he says...
So here's what I know. I know that we were told by our state police that we have assets over our critical infrastructure. Now, depending on your point of view, that's either concerning or comforting. I think it's comforting because it's probably us listening and watching. We also know that we have drones that are flying in a grid-like pattern. In my opinion, they're looking for something. What might they be looking for? Well, potentially, we're aware of a threat that came in through Port Newark. Maybe that's radioactive material. There was and there is an alert that's out right now that radioactive material in New Jersey has gone missing on December 2nd. It was a shipment. It arrived at its destination. The container was damaged and was empty. So potentially we're looking for that.
Stop right there, Mayor, because that's very important information. And that came from a credible source.
That came from the U.S. government.
And so it's missing?
Missing.
And they think it's in New Jersey, or it could be anywhere?
It was lost in New Jersey, in transit. And again, this is just an example of what I think that we're sniffing for. I think we do have the assets that can go up and fly around and sniff things, which is why we're not seeing the uptick we used to see in Belleville anymore. It's kind of moving, but we're seeing alerts that it's happening now in Pennsylvania.
Right.
And that's right about the time that the drone sightings began, right?
Yeah, drone sightings began about 4 weeks ago.
Timing's good. December 2nd's a real date. The alert goes up. The event report goes up December 5th. Then we start to read about, other places where there's radioactive materials that are missing. They were in a container and didn't end up at the destination they were supposed to end up at. And here you have a container ending up at its destination, but ending up there damaged and empty. Somebody is doing something around medical grade radioactive material. That's my theory. Until further notice, I'm going to stick to it. I think that's what they're looking for. And the reason they don't tell people is because when you hear the word radioactive, especially in the Northeast, Pennsylvania, that area, they've had Love Canal, they've had radioactive meltdowns, they've had, it's like, it would be like saying, in Ukraine, radioactive material is, Chernobyl was in Ukraine. And so it would be like saying, Zaporizhia's under attack. Do you know what I'm saying? And people would just freak out. I think that's kind of why there's an acknowledgement that there is law enforcement, that there's millions of drones, trying to muddy the waters a little in the truth of how many drones are in the United States, in the truth of how many drones are law enforcement, how many drones are private hobbyists, how many drones are commercial, just throw it all out there. Just throw it all out there because you're not really lying when you say all that. Those are all true things, but you're not exactly telling anybody what is going on. Now, here's the sick thing. Donald Trump knows what's going on because he's been briefed on what's going on. Do you know why? Because he has a gigunda house in Bedminster, New Jersey. That's why. And the idea that he's playing dumb, and, he doesn't really have to play at that, but the idea that he's playing dumb, and he's going, the president knows and everything. You know, too. And now I think I know, too. I don't know. It could be wrong. Could be very, very freaking wrong. But I could be right. I may be crazy. It may be just a lunatic you're looking for. Turn out the lights. Don't drive me crazy. You may be right for all I know, but you may be wrong. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.